I'm Politics. I'm Neota Igbe. Here are the headlines. President Bola Tinubu approved the appointment of new Directors General of the National Intelligence Agency and the Department of State Services. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered his men to apprehend those responsible for the death of 2 policemen in Sunday's Shiite protest. And Governor Abu Kefas of Taraba State says the People's Democratic Party in the state remains the #1 party and the party to beat. Its President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of new Directors General of the National Intelligence Agency (NIA) and the Department of State Services (DSS). While Ambassador Mohammed is the new Director General of the NIA, Mr. Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi is the new Director General of the DSS. As contained in the statement by the Special Advisor on Media to the President, Ajirin Gelali, Ambassador Mohammed has had an illustrious career in the Foreign Service since joining the NIA in 1995. He had served in various roles, culminating in his promotion to the rank of Director and his subsequent appointment as the head of the Nigerian mission to Libya. The new DSS Director General, Mr. Adeola Ajayi, rose through the ranks to attain his current post of Assistant Director General of the service. He had at various times served as the State Director in Bauchi, Enugu, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Kogi. The new appointments follow the resignation of the previous NIA and DSS chiefs. President Tinubu expects the new security chiefs to work diligently to reposition the 2 intelligence agencies for better results. He also charged them to bring their experience to bear in tackling the security challenges confronting the country through enhanced collaboration with sister agencies and in surgical alignment with the Office of the National Security Advisor. And the People's Democratic Party candidate for the September 21 governorship elections in Edo State, Asoe Godalo, has expressed confidence ahead of the polls. Reacting to the appeal court judgment that overturned an earlier judgment seeking to allow the participation of 381 delegates at the party's state primary election, Mr. Godalo also called on the party members, including those who filed the case against him, to join forces with him to ensure the party's victory at the forthcoming elections. He was speaking on our political program, Politics Today.
The Court of Appeal, I think, I believe, has done a fantastic job staying on the legal and factual issues. And it's affirmed our candidacy. There were 5 appeals heard today, and we won all the 5 appeals. But I'm being happy. I'm not quite sure that it's happy. I'll say that I'm relieved in that the distraction goes away and we can fully focus on continuing our campaign without the distraction. I'd rather that all my colleagues who have taken out this action come back and join hands together with me for us to drive every way to win this election. That's what I prefer. So it's not about being happy. I think it's the distraction, the relief of taking away that distraction. Yes, I have that. But I'd be truly happy if all of my colleagues that's gone to court at this stage come back together to the party. I've always been an advocate of all of us coming together to work for the betterment of the party. And I believe that's the party that can deliver the good things of life and remove the suffering of our people. And if we all join hands together, and we work together for that party, it will be a greater party, because all of the aspirants that have gone to court, particularly, they're all good people in their own right. And so I will hate to see them leave the party and hate to see them not participate with us in winning this election.
Staying in Edo State, the governor, Obaseki, has directed the implementation of the local government financial autonomy as granted by the Supreme Court by October the 1st, 2024. Governor Obaseki made the pronouncement at the executive chambers of the Government House in Benin City, the Edo State capital, after inaugurating an implementation committee to work out the modalities for smooth transition. He also charged the committee to review the joint financial commitments involving the state and local government councils, which includes payments to traditional institutions, pensions, and local security networks.
The traditional council staff has under the pay of the local governments. We have to agree on now that there's autonomy in each local government is autonomous. how that is not going to be dealt with monthly. But one concern that we would like to, well, not a concern, one of the areas we would like to also, we would like the committee to look at very closely and work out a seamless arrangement will be the monthly pension payments and savings to pay the arrears for pension obligations to retired workers from the local government service. As you're aware, for security, we have been jointly financing the training of vigilantes from the various local governments. How would this be carried on going forward? And then, lastly, we recall that we had started this program of jointly financing the rollout of fiber optic connections to your local governments. And this last, we have a phase currently on where we are connecting primary healthcare centers in some of the local governments to this fiber network. Therefore, this is an area we need to look at how to now jointly finance.
The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered operatives of the force to track down and arrest the sponsors and killers of the policemen involved in the recent procession by the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, commonly known as the Shiites. According to a statement by the force spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, the IG condemned the killing of the police officers while on duty, stating that those who murdered these policemen have murdered peace. The statement adds that in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, the progressive efforts of police operatives have led to the arrest of 97 suspects and the recovery of several weapons used in the attack. The IGP has also reaffirmed the unwavering commitment of the force to arrest the remaining suspects and bring the killers to justice, emphasizing his dedication to maintaining law and order and resisting all forms of anarchy and unrest throughout the country.
The Nigeria Police Force has condemned vehemently an unprovoked attack by members of the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN, commonly known as the Shiite Group, on police personnel in Abuja on August 25, 2024. The incident occurred at Wuse Junction by the traffic lights, where assailants targeted a police checkpoint and descended heavily on policemen on duty. The attackers, who were armed with machetes, improvised explosive devices, knives, and other offensive weapons, embarked on several violent attacks, which left 2 police officers dead instantly and 3 unconscious, currently receiving treatment in hospital. Additionally, 3 police patrol vans were set ablaze during the attacks. In line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olukayode Adeolu Egbetokun, PhD, NPM, FS, PSP, the progressive efforts of police operatives have led to the arrest of 97 suspects and the recovery of several weapons used during the attack. The IGP has also reaffirmed the unalloyed zeal of the force to arrest other involved persons and bring the killers to justice, emphasizing his commitment to maintaining law and resisting all sorts of anarchy and unrest in any parts of the country.
And in Rivers State, unknown gunmen have reportedly kidnapped director at the State Board of Internal Revenue, identified as Aribibia John Fubara. The incident, which was confirmed by the state's police public relations officer Grace Iringe Koko, occurred at the Okrika waterfront near the Marine Base in Port Harcourt, the state capital. At least 6 assailants arrived at the waterfront in a speedboat, sporadically firing gunshots into the air with the aim of scaring people away before abducting Mr. Fubara. The state PRO also says the Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, has directed tactical units in the command to ensure that the victim is released unhurt and the perpetrators are apprehended. Now, joining us all the way from the United States, New Jersey to be precise, is a former director with the Department of State Services, Mr. Dennis Amakri. Let's look at all these matters around security, especially as it affects Nigeria and her citizens. Mr. Amakri, thank you for joining us. Oh, well, we would have Mr. Amakri join us for a conversation real quickly. But let's move on to Taraba State. Oh, do we have Mr. Amakri now?
Yes. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Amakri.
Good afternoon. Yes.
All right. So I'm sure you being a former director in the DSS, I'm sure you're one of those excited ones. I mean, there's news going out that operatives of the DSS are very excited at the appointment of Mr. Ajayi as the new Director General.
It's going viral. I think it's not, I don't know if you're hearing me, but the video that is going viral is not one that happened yesterday. But normally, when there is a change of leadership, some people might are very happy with the person that is there coming in, and some will be happy with the person that is going out. So it is not unexpected, but these are the ills of social media, whereby these people are supposed to be classified staff, and somebody has placed it in the social media, and it's been going viral.
But let's look at it critically. The appointment of Ambassador Mohammed for the National Intelligence Agency, the appointment of Ambassador Mohammed for the National Intelligence Agency, and then Mr. Adeola Ajayi for the DSS. In your opinion, what would you say about these appointments? Are they, like as some would say, right appointment, the right people to sit there, square pegs in square holes?
Of the DSS, he's done his very best. In fact, he was brought back from retirement to come and lead the service. And then, of course, I also congratulate the incoming DG, whom I know very well. I think he's a thoroughbred professional, and I hope that with the new appointment, basically, I think it's one of the new generation DG SSS that is coming in. He should be able to change, restructure, and then, of course, take the intelligence organization to a newer height from where it has been.
That point was a question. It's like you jumped the gun, because I was going to ask you, with this new appointment, are we likely to see a change? Because many a Nigerian will tell you, what are we doing in terms of tracking, especially kidnappers? I mean, yesterday, the National Association of Resident Doctors embarked on what they call a warning strike for what they say is the kidnap of their colleague since 2023. And according to them, they know that their colleague is still alive. So why is it so difficult? It appears to be difficult to track these kidnappers down. So some will say the question of intelligence gathering and using that intelligence for operations.
Yeah, very, very correct. I think you are spot on that. Well, with the new blood coming in, I believe strongly that he has to look at the national threats with a new eye, because actually we've been fighting these things for decades now, and the change has not really been effective where we have a succor. People are still worried about kidnapping, which I think is the biggest threat to national security today in Nigeria. So with a new person, it might be more amenable to new technology, because the old ways are giving way to new technology, AI technology, drones and stuff like that. So I believe strongly that he could look into this. And then, of course, with communication with other security agencies, they should be able to bring a new result to the national threats that we've been facing.
Well, now security is one thing. Politics is another. And then recently we got that Supreme Court judgment that gave autonomy to the local government. Now, a friend of mine, who is also a broadcaster, insists that if local government administration is sorted, the matter of security will not be a problem, so to speak. So now that we have new appointments in the intelligence area, the service chiefs are there. The police IG is re-strategizing, according to the press statement released by his spokesperson. And we have local government autonomy. Tell us, how do you think all of this can work together to ensure that security is, the security challenge is taken care of once and for all? What would you advise?
Okay. I think we are in a very good position at this time, where we have new heads of the intelligence organizations. And then, of course, the police is supposed to, I just remember what the president said when he first came, his first speech, where he said that he's going to restructure the security infrastructure, right? And I think he's gradually doing that. And with this new blood coming into play, we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. All these local governments have local government security chiefs that are there. Now, what we need now is to empower them, and there has to be a lot of orientation and training, because I can tell you this, most of these local government chairmen don't know how to run their local governments. They are not democratic. And they believe that at the end of the month, they take money from the governor and then spend it the way they like. And most of the local governments are still very, very backward. And I think if local governments are now autonomous, they are getting money, good money, directly, without anybody editing the money straight to them. I think they should be able to do a lot. But I think first of all, they should embark on training. Yes.
Okay, but how would this work? Seeing that administration or governance is decentralized with this autonomy, but security infrastructure is still central. So, yes. And then there are those who are saying, now that you've given, now that the local government have autonomy, let's have local police, let's have state police, so that the local government can do what they need to do locally, and then there are certain crimes that we know that the central policing should do locally, and then there are certain crimes that we know that the central policing structure can take up.
Well, we're talking about state police, and
but that was when there was no local government autonomy. Now that
yes,
autonomy.
Of course, yes. If we have state police. Yes, if we have state police, we should also have local government sheriffs, local government sheriffs who are going to be responsible for local governments.
And we still have a central security infrastructure.
Okay.
And we still have a central security infrastructure. Would there be any change? And what should that change look like if we want to decentralize? Okay, well, I think we have him back now. Mr. Mark, are you there?
Now, with the autonomy of local governments, should be a different story altogether. We should also have, besides state police, we should have local government sheriffs. Because, you see, these law enforcement people, local government, if it is autonomous, should have its own enforcement local government law enforcement units, which in the United States here, they call them sheriffs. They are responsible for county. And their job is different from the one of state police. And the state police is different from the federal. So what we're having right now if they are going to restructure the intelligence organizations very well, there should be federal police. And this federal police will be DSS, like EFCC and DLA, and others. Then you should have state police, which will have the bulk of criminal law enforcement. Then you have local government sheriffs who are going to enforce local government edicts, like parking, land issues, waste management, and stuff like that. So the structuring should come, appropriately. And then, of course, that will make it more effective and efficient.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis Amakri, is the former director with the Department of State Services. Thank you for coming in this day. We do know that you're on a different time zone, but with the Department of State Services, thank you for coming in this day. We do know that you're on a different time zone, but thank you for taking out that time. Lunchtime Politics will be back in a moment. Just stay with us. Welcome back. The governor of Kogi State, Governor Abu Kefas, is confident that the People's Democratic Party is still the party to beat if the stakeholders are willing to embrace peace and be tolerant. Governor Kefas was speaking at a meeting with PDP leaders and members and notes that the party has been in power in the state since the return of democracy. He urged the members to make sacrifices and build bridges of unity in order to deliver the dividends of democracy.
I want us to tolerate one another, forget about things that have happened in the past. But let's learn from the past so we'll make today comfortable so that the future will be the best for all of us. I want us to remain united. I want us to work together so that we can continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of Taraba State. So if it will make things easy for me at the party level, I will be able to deal with governance without stress. But if you stress me here, I'll have problem projecting the party to the good people of Taraba State. So I'm here just to plead with every one of you to help me make the work easier for me so that I can do what will make Taraba to still continue to trust PDP. So please, I'm not here to dictate, I'm not here to do anything, but I'm here to plead with every one of you that we should carry everybody along. There are one or two areas where I indicated interest. It's not that I'm imposing anybody on any of us, but I only pleaded that this is something I want us to accommodate. And some of you have tried to accommodate. But where you don't want to accommodate, come out and tell me you cannot accommodate this for this reason. I can understand with you. So that me too, when you come for me.
Taraba State, Abu Kefas. And just before we finish here on Lunchtime Policies, former President of Ghana, John Mahama, says there's a need for the establishment of a pan-African legal framework that will reflect the continent's values and realities and help to solve the challenges facing the continent. The former president said this while speaking on the topic, the future of Africa and rising security, economic and political challenges at the Nigeria Bar Association Annual General Conference in Lagos. Samama says that Africa must proactively adapt a legal education and practice to meet the needs of an integrated market that involves developing expertise in international trade law, cross-border disputes, and comparative African law. He also acknowledged that lawyers have an important role to play in addressing structural challenges facing the continent. According to him, lawyers must not only advocate for change, but they must also actively shape the legal frameworks that will support the diversification and strengthening of our economies. He called on lawyers to work tirelessly to harmonize immigration laws, recognize professional qualifications across our member states, and establish robust systems for the mutual recognition of judgments and arbitral awards. And that's it on Lunchtime Politics. I want to thank you for being a part of it. I'm Neil Taigwe.